Hello everybody and welcome to our newbie session from the Nobody Cares Pantheon. We are going to talk about the basics you need to know as new player to actually get to the end game and what is important to you to actually work it. For starters, we actually go right away and go for the stats, and that's P on your keyboard. You see your character sheet, and what is now of interest for us is the might. The might is the base of everything you do, or better, what your character is actually doing in-game, like damage, etc. Might is determined by three sources: the Cathedral, the Tower of Knowledge, and the Bastions. Those bastions need to be maxed out later, but there is a certain order to actually build this up, because the accessibility and the amount you can gain. For starters, to come back why it's the base of everything you do, might determines how much health you have, how much damage you do, how much damage your companion does, and of course, because a critical damage is based on your normal damage just multiplied, means you get actually even the crit multiplier or the crit base from this value. So you actually can see might is your most important stat, and the one you should work first on. And to do this, like I said, the bastions are the best source to do, and I will show you why and how. First off, we go to repress K or Shift and K and go to provinces. So, as you can see in there are several provinces, and there is a golden path going along all the different provinces, and this suits two purposes. The first one for our needs here is that you can follow this golden path. You need to play the dungeons that are actually on the path, not next to it or something, just on the path. And if you do that, you can reach a bastion. Before we go into the bastion, I want to make a side comment for everyone that doesn't have unlocked the god form now. It's important for you that you follow the golden path until the Philomena's area and get the last dungeon there done. If you done that, and I think maybe one or two tutorial quests, you get a quest from Herida to actually unlock your god form. And your god form is pretty much this what's allowing you to take part in every single action in this game. Before you unlock this, you're basically still in tutorial. Doesn't matter if you played 20 hours, 2 hours, or maybe 200 hours. If you didn't unlock your god form now, you are still in a tutorial area and can't access many factors of the game. So, now that this is said, let's go to the bastions themselves. As you can see, bastions give you might, and there is a thing, it's called a new ability, but actually it's just points, or progress points. If you would have, not like me, maxed out everything, you would have a button here for receiving quest. You would get quests to do, like things like do this dungeon in a S rank, do this 5-man dungeon, kill 20 of these mobs, and so on. Every time you actually finish a quest, you get progress here, but also you get might per finished quest. So why do I advise to actually just focus first and foremost on the bastions? Like I said, everything needs to be maxed out. Your tower, your cathedral, and of course your bastions. But the bastions can actually be done with just time investment. You can do as much quests as you want, and you can take quests from several bastions at once. Maybe they cross each other and you can finish 2 or 3 quests in one go. And this is what makes gaining might from Sebastians way easier than the other stuff. And we'll go to the other stuff now, because you want to know why. So, the first thing of all, like I said, the highest might gainer would be the Cathedral. I'm still not done with it. But you can see you get a huge chunk of might from it. And this is based on the followers you collect. You get followers by doing rituals. I will do it now just for showing purposes, and because I can. You will have, I need to skip because I had done a daily one. You get this availabilities for pieces, and now you have a certain amount of credits to pay to actually progress. If I press this, you see I get a ritual and I gain it 142 followers. Next, I do it again, 100 and more. Again, no, this was a good one, nearly 600. And another one, and 116 again. So, you need to do that to actually push up to these numbers. And it goes to 250k. So, why do I advise against focusing on this hard? The thing is, you will need a huge amount of credits when you actually get to the gearing point. So, pushing too much money into your Cathedral isn't a good idea. But you shouldn't ignore it entirely. So, just a disclaimer here. If you want to actually go for the Cathedral and push all your money into it, it's not a bad investment. It's just an investment that will maybe set you back because you need your money elsewhere. And also, you are limited to 4 pushes per day. At the start, the price isn't 150k like mine, it's, I think, 20k or something, so it's pretty much affordable, but at a certain point it becomes really costly. And then you need to know, do I actually need to push it now? Or is my investment better suited on something else? So, the other thing is the Tower of Knowledge. The Tower of Knowledge is maxed out for me, and it works like this. You don't invest credits, you invest knowledge of enemies. Knowledge of enemies is dropped by enemies by completing regions, by doing directives for the Council of Gods, and of course it can also be purchased in the market, but let's not go that far. Normally you will drop enough of this if you end regions, kill enemies, and so on, to actually push forward here. But what makes it hard to actually get it forward is that you don't get a progress right away. If you would push here, you would get like this forward, and then this, and this, and this, until you hit the button here. You gain no might until you hit the complete rank. If you hit the complete rank, you can upgrade it, and if you upgrade it, you gain might. So it's a long progress to actually unlock everything there. It's not like I say don't do it. It's just like you will maybe either not have enough knowledge of enemies, or you will have a limit like here, 6 available times for me, to actually push it per day. So the progress isn't like jumping forward. It's really a slow progress. And Sebastian's, as you can see now, is the only one that you can do without the investment of a resource or of credits. It's just the investment of time. And this time can be invested and should be invested because it gains you the most might out of the time you can actually do it. Of course, everything else should be done too, but in your limitations. So, that's for that. But if you have now focused on your bastions and you have progress there and so on, you will still need more. And what you need more is this one, the Flavius Laboratory. The Flavius Laboratory has several tabs here, and they all correspond to a certain invading enemy, like the plant ones, the dead guys, the water things, demons, snake people, and robots. And you need to actually unlock these nodes to gain bonuses. Let's say we go over this one. There are symbols that give you more damage versus a certain race. There are symbols that reduce the damage you get from a certain race. And there are nodes that give you just damage against everything, like 4%. You will say 4% isn't that much, but as you can see, there are several of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that actually means that you can 24% more damage just from one laboratory, and there are more of this. So you can gain a huge damage bonus just by unlocking this. But this isn't all. You also have nodes that give you more HP. So you can actually take more hits, not just by reducing the damage, but also generally. So it's pretty much important for you to unlock every node you can. So what is my advice here? If you have the currently invading laboratory still to do, I wouldn't advise to do it right away. I would say do the others. And why is that so? If you take the quest, I can do it because I'm maxed out. Actually, can't do it. You get a set of quests, 2 pieces, and no, wait, wrong. So, if you do it for the Pythonites, for the actually invading army, and you receive the quest, then you get 2 quests to do that give you progress here. There is a catch-up bonus that lets you get forward, so you won't do one quest and get one symbol or a half symbol or whatever. You actually gain, like, let's say one quest is done because you need to catch up, you get 2 symbols. If you do next quest, you get 2, until you actually, I would say, like, get here around, like the half. And the problem with this is all the quests will require you to actually do invasion dungeons. So they will either be time consuming or you will need help for starters, because you won't be able to do it from straight away. So what is my advice here? You go to a laboratory where the invasion army isn't coming at the planet at the moment, and you receive the quest here. The quest here will be one quest, and the quest will just be kill something of this race. So if you need to actually do it for Reapers, you just take the quest, you go to Rogul or some other area where you can find them and kill them. So you can actually just go forward. I know it's actually pretty much off. Sorry. You will have now the ability to push these laboratories, like I said, in a catching up manner. So you kill the mobs that is demanded from the quest, and you get 2 forward and forward and forward until you hit the half, and then it goes forward like 1 per finished quest, etc. But it's pretty much easy. If you really focus on this, you will need for one laboratory, like, say, 3 or 4 hours. So these whole other laboratories can be done in less than a week to actually make everything done. You get huge bonuses against the races you fight, you get general damage bonus, you get general HP bonus, and if you finish it dead, you can now focus on the laboratory from the invading army and do the quest. It gives you a good base, makes you feeling less helpless, and greatly improves your performance overall. And if you do the invading army stuff, you just do the quest and get forward until you are done. And then you have all bonuses you can have, and even that is possible to do in like 1 or 2 weeks. I just need to point out that the other ones are pretty much easier to do. So that's that. But there's another thing that also needs to be, let's say, it's pretty much a thing that people often don't realize. Let's go to the stats screen again on the character, and as you can see, you have multipliers here. Like, because I'm in a scaled region, I'm scaled down to 11 to 11.5, and even my might is scaled down. So it's a good example because if you go over my gear, you can see my multipliers are actually somewhat about 2000 each. And why do I see these stats here? Because the dungeon itself, or in this case it's invasion region, demands me to be on a certain level. This works in both ways. You can enter a dungeon that actually demands you to be higher, or a dungeon that demands you to be lower. But in both cases, your stats, if you don't match, get equalized. So let's say for me it's like I'm way too high for this. In the invasion region I'm scaled down to I think about 50 or 40, and this would be the stats a 50 or 40 player should have if he actually would have suitable gear, etc. So means all my multipliers here are totally useless. They don't do anything. And the same would go for you if you go into a dungeon as a starter, like the warm-up modes that are available to you. I will show you what I mean. When we go to the adventure screen and we just take a 5-man dungeon, like let's say Derek. You see there are certain difficulties, and if you see here the warm-up with this sign, it means that everyone that doesn't get the right prestige level for this dungeon will get upscaled. Means they get stats that are suitable for the level that the game thinks you should have. So if you don't spike over this, you will actually get scaled. And for the most dungeons at the moment, this is 178. Means if you don't, for yourself, go over this amount of prestige, you will get scaled up, and your actually multipliers that you have on your gear are totally pointless to you. They don't do anything. There are dungeons where you aren't scaled, but these dungeons are totally endgame. So they aren't. I wouldn't say it's not accessible to you. They are accessible, but you won't survive a single second there until you reach the certain amount of prestige for yourself. So to actually make it clear, you need a base might, not scaled or something, from about 800k to actually go endgame. And before you reach this height, you will scaled. You will be scaled every time. And this will make multipliers on your gear until you reach 7 or 800k might. It will pretty much be no point for you to actually invest in them or search for higher multipliers just because you want it. Way more important is something you can see here. You have these stats, and as you can see, although my stats, like the multipliers, aren't going to carry over in the scaled dungeons, the other stuff does, like my crit chance, my armor fracture, my main damage bonus, my critical damage bonus, my companion damage bonus, although this is nothing I would advise you to actually take. But you can see those stats, they come from my gear and they are capped. So the lesson we learned from this is if you focus on gear, it's not that much important what multiplier it has. It should be a blue or a purple item, yes, but way more important than your multiplier is that it has the right stats. So it's way more a thing of looking, do I gain crit chance from this? Do I gain main damage bonus? Do I gain critical damage bonus? And this is just for the damage classes. Tank classes and support classes need different types of stats. In the channel this video's link, you actually find a Google document that actually shows what stats are needed for what class. So, if you can follow me here, your main goal as a new player should be to collect gear that actually has the right stats on it. And then there's another thing that actually is pretty much important. If you have a good item, let's say with 2 stats or something, this is the item upgrade. The item upgrade works like this. If you put money into it and some resources, oh god in hell, it happened again. You didn't see this. I will leave this region for a second. You can all laugh now. I know. I'm a noob. Just wanted to show you a beautiful view, and what do I get? Death. So, where did I went? Oh yeah, so item upgrades. It works like this. You have for starters, like blue items, etc. You invest pure matter. Pure matter you get from destroying gear you don't actually use, and you invest credits. With this, the integrity goes on, and as the integrity goes on, your multipliers grow. But as I said, multipliers aren't that important. You can actually up it a bit if you want, but actually wouldn't change much. Way more important are these ones, the key stats. And these key stats can be changed by stat replacement. You can click on it and you can exchange stats. If you lock it, the stat stays. If you replace, if you don't lock it, it gets randomized. I would do it just one up, but keeps the stats. As you can see, I do this, and the stats change. This has stayed, this has changed, this and this has changed. So, to actually cap the new stats, I would save the new stats, but I would keep it. The point is here, if you have such stuff, you need to actually look for the right key stats on it. Secondary stats are another thing that you can go for, but actually aren't needed. So, this is a way to actually keep the stats you have or get new stats, and you can customize your gear that way that you actually have the stats you would need for your class. It's advisable to do this just for one set, so I would go for everyone that is a starter, just take a good damage dealing set and use it for everything else until you really reach a point where you can afford to have multiple sets. So, the next one is to actually know for new players, what do we do about God form? Or, yeah, godly form, whatever, divine form. As you know, if you have done the quest, you get access to the Temple of Deeds. The Temple of Deeds is a passive bonus stuff that gives you multiple boni that are either for your god directly or generally give you boni for your class and for your other classes. So this is the first one. It gives passive bonus to your god form, it reduces the costs, and so on. So, but isn't all. If you now click on Orbit, you see multiple more. So what is important here? The first and foremost thing is that you finish your Temple of Deeds, the Junior God, because this is the basement. If you haven't done this, you can't actually access this here. If you have done that, you get to do one of these. For actually unlocking these, you need to go to the training avatar or the real avatar to get a trophy. Per kill, you get one, and you can unlock God specializations. This one is a special one. It's the Hall of Travels. Hall of Travels is an area in the God specializations that allows you to improve your solo performance. It has just bonuses for hit harder, survive longer, get less damage when you're alone, and so on. So this is for soloing. I would advise to actually unlock this, let's say on the same time as your first god, and invest in what you think is useful for you first. But I would say Hall of Travels will help you a lot, because it will allow you to transform into God if you're alone way more often, and it will allow you to deal way more damage when you do, and for sometimes this is really important. It's nothing like you need to do it, but I would advise to do it like the second or first time you actually skill out a new God specialization. The thing with Hall Surface is that you can't actually just get it like the other forms with a trophy. You need to go to the market, and I don't know if I can find it here. Is it here somewhere? Somewhere in the market I don't think I can see it because I have it already, but somewhere in the market you find a Book of Divinity, and this Book of Divinity will actually allow you to unlock this. Let's go back to the orbit. And the other ones, like I said, need trophies. For starters, I would give you an order what is preferred among all the good and main players. It's a Hall of Authority for a better support play and for more gain of face. Face is your resource you need to turn into a god. So this is pretty much important to you to actually gain 50% more of this. The next is the Hall of Defense, and the next one after this is the Hall of Hunt. Although they both are interchangeable, the thing is with Hall of Defense it gives you a reduction in the face costs in group dungeons, and some HP bonuses and bonuses to defense classes, and Hall of Hunt gives you more offensive bonuses and more damage against elite and against bosses itself, but they don't give any reductions. Hall of Magic as the last one gives you again a few bonuses against everything that isn't a boss, and it gives you a bonus to support stuff. Why don't we go for Hall of Machines and Hall of War? Hall of Machines and Hall of War are totally dedicated to PvP aspects of the game, and won't do you any good at the start. So remember this: Hall of Authority, Defense or Hunt. Take the other as the next, and the last one take Hall of Magic. Why do I say take 4 and not 6? As starter, you need to do the training avatar, the Tava, to actually get your trophies, and these trophies will only drop 4 times. Means you can unlock 4 specializations, and 2 will be left out. And for them, you need to do the champion avatar, the Java. And the champion avatar is a way harder version and probably not really suitable for you, although maybe if someone actually just carries you through it. So, this is what order the gods should be unlocked. And now we go to another things. What is important for gods to know as starter? And that would be how to gain face. The main source of face are your adepts. The adepts are 8 chosen people. you only can actually use 8. If you use more than 8, you need to send one away, make him a missionary. If you don't do that, your gains will be reduced. But if you do with the 8 ones, you have a chance to obtain. Does anyone have one? Yeah, here. Here's 8. You can send them out, and they will encounter certain events, and if they are successful in these events, you get phase. And this can be very, very much like they are on the start, but at the end, someone like them brings me about 150 or 400 phase per adept. As starter, you will be way lower, maybe 20 phase pro adept, but per adept. But you will definitely grow with time and the right artifacts. So this is your main source to get phase. What are the other sources? There are 2 more. One is in your bag. It's the focus of phase. This one can drop from certain events, or they can be obtained by rituals in the cathedral. They contain 100 phase and can be used at any time you want. The last thing you can do to actually gain phase, and I will show it directly to you, is go into a region or a 3-man dungeon, and loading screen, and when you are here, you can go on the lookout for these guys. These are people that are sitting around and screaming for rescue me, rescue me. If you take them, and already have done that 100 times before, you get phase per pick it up man. Like so, I go to the next one, I've seen this one here, I collect them, and I get another phase. So this is a way to farm phase. It's a slow and hard way to do it, but especially for beginners where the adepts don't bring that much of phase. It's a pretty good option to actually do it and do the god form 2 or 3 times more per week. And this is pretty much it, how you gain phase, but you maybe will ask yourself, how do I actually get everything done? It's so much to do. Hold on a second longer and I will tell you. If you go to a certain area, like, let's say, I think you can see it here. Yeah. If you do an elation dungeon or some dungeon else and you go god form, you get divine deeds. Divine deeds are granted to you if you finish the dungeon while you are in god form. So that means you can gain the resources you need to actually develop your god specializations from going god in a dungeon. But the main way for you as starter will be this. If you press K and go to Alien, you have god of course, you get the directives, the quest that is given to you from the Council of Gods. You get certain rewards. And for beginners there are also rewards that actually make you skip through the progress in the tower and the cathedral and the bastions. But later on you will have things that give you this. Divine deeds. 750 per finish it for directive. And you get a chest that actually gives you credits and victory medals and so on. It's pretty much important for you to focus on these directives at first in your day. When you start a new day, do them first. After you finish this, you can go on with Bastion Quest, doing lab, and so on. Okay, I think that's it. I bored you enough. I hope you learned something. If you have questions, contact me. You know where.